From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, Saturday's storm system is something we've been telling you about all week long, even since Monday. I've been telling you about the potential for rain on Saturday. Now that we're getting closer to Saturday, and now that the shorter range forecast models are starting to come into play here, we're beginning to iron out more details about the storm when it comes to the amount of rainfall that we're going to see, how long it's going to last, chances for thunderstorms, snow levels, how much snow we'll see in some areas as well. And on top of that, we're also looking at a big drop in those temperatures too. So that's going to have an impact on those snow levels too. So the warming trend, it's going to peak tomorrow. So let's talk about that. It's going to be another gorgeous day for your Friday. Still a bit breezy in some spots here, but still looking at some warm temperatures. Then we see the big temperature drop Friday into Saturday. About a 20-degree drop in the valley, 10 to 20-degree drop in the mountains, depending on where you are. Now we have rain, we've got thunderstorms, we've got mountain snow this weekend, not to mention some gusty winds at times. But once we get through the weekend, really once we get through Saturday, most of it will be gone, and we're looking at drier and warmer through a majority of next week and for most of us. And we'll talk about that in more detail here in a second. Take a look at your neighborhood forecast for tomorrow at a glance. Again, a bit on the breezy side for the valley, but overall it's going to be a dry day. Now, the north coast, you see the showers there. That's because Saturday's storm system will hit the coast as early as late afternoon tomorrow, especially for Del Norte, northern Humboldt County. But I think everyone else will be dry through the day tomorrow, and then by tomorrow night into Saturday, that's a different story. All right, so let's walk you through the timing of it all. Here you can see as we take you through Friday morning at about 8 a.m. Got a warm front up toward north, but the rain is still mainly off toward north and west. We're looking at dry conditions over Northern California. A few clouds along the north coast, but still dry at this point. All right, now we take you into the noon hour. There's the cold front right here. Here's the rain associated with that cold front. It's not hitting the coast just yet, but the clouds are beginning to overspread the area, not to mention western Siskiyou County. Everywhere else, mostly sunny skies, temperatures warming up. Now we take you into Friday about 5 p.m. Cold front still off the coast, still mainly in the form of rain here, but look at this. This is kind of interesting. Now, Futurecast, for the second time, for the second forecast model run, it's indicating some prefrontal activity beginning to develop. In fact, in the form of maybe a stray shower or two. So, with that said, the chances of that happening are pretty slim in those exact locations. But with that said, maybe the north end of the valley could see a stray sprinkle or a light shower on Friday afternoon around 5, 6 p.m. Okay, no guarantees on that. Again, the bulk of the activity is off to the west. All right, now we're going to take you into midnight Saturday. So this is going into late tomorrow night into early Saturday morning, midnight, right? So here's the batch of heavy rainfall. This is going to be coming down pretty heavy for Del Norte, Humboldt counties. In advance of that, here's the cold front. You've got some of that rain just beginning to develop in the north end of the valley. It's some pretty heavy rainfall near Redding, but the heaviest rainfall is still behind this cold front. Now we take you into at about 5 a.m. Now we're going to start talking about snow levels. As early as 5 a.m., we can see snow levels drop between 4,500 and 5,000 feet. You've got the cold front. In advance of it is the warmer air. Behind it is the colder air. The colder and unstable air at that. So what we see is, of course, the rain, and we see those snow levels dropping. So 4,500 to 5,000 feet. Heavy rainfall on either side of the valley. The valley could see also some periods of heavy rainfall. Now, as the storm for a cold front moves off to the east, the cold front is gone. It's out of here. It's over Nevada by 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Now look what's happening. Here's the valley, the back edge of the rain. So we're still, even at 8 o'clock in the morning, seeing some moderate to even heavy rainfall for parts of the valley. East of that, you've got the heavier rainfall as well. Snow levels still somewhere between 4,500 and 5,000 feet. I think it's beginning to drop even lower than that in some cases here by 8 o'clock in the morning. You can see some of that heavy snow we are seeing in the mountains. All right, but look at behind all of this. Drier conditions, but it's still cold and unstable. What that means is scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms, even Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Now we take you into the noon hour. I've got those snow levels dropping a little bit, 3,500, 4,500 feet, locally lower in some spots. The heaviest rainfall is now making its way into Nevada. Still some heavy rainfall and snow out towards southeastern portions of, or mainly most of Plumas County. Some snow in the mountains, say above 3,500, 4,000 feet in parts of Modoc County. And of course, things kind of starting to taper off a bit behind that. But look at again, cold and unstable air. We've got scattered showers. We've even got scattered thunderstorms here at the noon hour on Saturday. Okay, now let's take you into about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Still scattered showers and thunderstorms. And now it's basically just cold and unstable air over all of Northern California. Snow levels between 3,500, 4,500 feet. Again, locally lower in some spots. Still looking at the chance for more showers and thunderstorms for everyone. Okay? Now we're going to take you into 10 p.m. Saturday. Now I've dropped the snow levels down to about 3,000, 4,000 feet. Now this is when I expect the snow levels to be their lowest. Saturday night into early Sunday morning. This is when I think we could see the potential for some light accumulation around Alturas, maybe Upper Shingletown, places like Chester, Upper Shingletown like Viola, for example, Susanville, Portola, right? Now, places like Hayfork, Weaverville, no, I don't think it's going to happen. But we could see possibly a mix around Mount Shasta City. Shingletown, lower Shingletown, say around 3,000, 3,500 feet. Let's see, Bernie could maybe see a bit of a mix, maybe even some light accumulation there, quite honestly. So it's getting interesting here. It's May, early May, and we're talking about snow levels down to as low as 3,000 feet. Now, this could also impact your mountain travel Saturday night and your early Sunday morning. So it's one of those situations, if you have to be on the mountain highways, especially east of I-5, you're definitely going to want to keep a close eye on those road conditions. All right, so here's your forecast rainfall totals. You may notice that these numbers are actually higher than I was reporting in your afternoon update. That's because, yes, the cold front is still moving through fairly quickly. However, we're talking about some heavy downpours at times, and it looks like the cold front may slow down a little bit here. And that will allow us to see upwards of, I would say, a half an inch to close to an inch in the valley once all is said and done through Saturday night. And then maybe less as you start heading south into some of those rain-shadowed areas. But even the higher elevations, a half an inch to an inch there, and where we see most of it is going to be about an inch and a half to over 2 inches for parts of the north coast. So some decent rainfall coming out of this. We look at the forecast snow totals. These are numbers that are on here that I've put in here myself because I think the forecast model is having a hard time with this. Now, a lot of times with this forecast model, what makes it tricky is it still puts in a little bit of accumulation, less than an inch for places like Weaverville, Hayfork. And this is why I decided to put my own numbers in, because I don't want you to look at this without an explanation and go, oh, wow, we actually might see some snow in Weaverville. No, we're not going to. The thing is, no matter how fine-tuned and no matter how what we call a tight grid, if you have a small grid, that's where you can get a lot more detail in the forecast. Larger grid, less detail. Okay, so small grid, that's what we're looking at. However, even with these small grids, you have places like Weaverville, Hayfork, population, elevation of approximately 2,000 feet. Okay, you don't have to go too far from Hayfork or Weaverville before you start to see a big increase in elevation. So a lot of times the forecast model may be picking up on a lot of that snow around Weaverville and Hayfork and equate it as snow in Weaverville and Hayfork. So that's why it gets a little tricky, and that's why the forecast models tend to pick up on that. So these are numbers I put in here myself. Now, some of these, I'm being very conservative. We may see a little bit more, but we've got to cool the surface down enough. We've got to cool the surface roads down enough if we want to see it on the roads. But, you know, we could pick upwards of a couple of inches in snow, say around Upper Shingletown, Chester, that's at 4,500 feet. Alturas, you might even see more than less than an inch. Fall River Mills, possibly Susanville, Portola, you get the idea. Mainly in the southern Cascades and northern Sierras where we'll see most of that. I think we might see a bit of a mix out towards Mount Shasta City, but we might be hard-pressed to see a bit of accumulation. However, you know, you go in some of the higher elevations of Mount Shasta, 3,800 feet, 4,000 feet. Again, you don't have to go too far from the center of town, and you're up higher in elevation, and you could see some snow. All right, so that's where things get quite interesting with this storm system. So we look at the storm impacts, travel, and I think our biggest concern will be Saturday night, Sunday morning. And I'd say mainly east of I-5, over elevations 4,000 feet and higher. Once again, we've got to lower those road temperatures down below freezing before you start seeing some significant accumulation and slick roads. So it takes longer. It takes a while for those roads to cool off. It takes longer than the grassy areas. So that will also be interesting to see what happens with the road conditions. Saturday night, Sunday morning, that is my red flag to you. Go out, check those road conditions before heading out Saturday night into Sunday morning. I want to talk about the temperatures because we are going to see a warm temperature on Friday, 82 degrees, but a plummet into Saturday, and then gradually increasing back up into the low 80s by the end of next week. Quite a ride indeed. All right, so here's the overall big picture. This is the storm system coming in on Saturday. You can see through the day on Saturday, colder air associated with it. It's moving on out Sunday. Slight chance for showers on Sunday. That moves out, and then on Monday, you see this right here? A very weak disturbance riding to our north could bring a chance for a few showers for some of the higher elevations, especially north, Modoc, Siskiyou, Del Norte, Northern Humboldt. All right, those are the best chances for showers on Monday. Also, look at how tightly packed these white lines are. They're the isobars. When they're tightly packed, it means winds. And we could be looking at some gusty winds again on Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday of next week, but dry. Low pressure to our east, high pressure to our west could keep those winds a little tight as we go into Thursday. But overall, a warming trend toward the end of next week, and not to mention drier weather. All right, let's take a look at our wave heights, and they are dropping for your Friday. That certainly is good news, but as I was expecting with that approaching storm system on Saturday, that's going to increase those wave heights here as we go into Saturday afternoon. Here's a marine forecast for your Friday. South winds at 5 to 10 knots. There's going to be some fog out there, especially in the morning, and then turning over to the potential for showers later on in the afternoon. So here's what it looks like tonight. We've got temperatures low 50s in the valley. And there you can see in those 30s and 40s for the higher elevations, temperatures mid to upper 40s for the coast. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast. Taking a look at Trinity County first. And you can see here, we're looking at 72 degrees for Hayfork, 75 Weaverville. Again, a beautiful warm day. Increasing clouds, but the showers and thunderstorms won't be here until Saturday. Continuing that chance for Sunday into Monday. Southern Humboldt County, central and southern Humboldt County, Garberville, a high of 70, 69 degrees for Alder Point. Now, we've got dry conditions for the coast through most of the day. But as we head up into northern Humboldt and Del Norte County, I think we could see some showers late in the day, and not to mention places like Gasquet, Orleans, maybe Hoopa late in the day. But the main event will be Friday night, Saturday morning, and then still maybe a chance for a few lingering showers Sunday, Monday, but nothing to write home about. We take a look at your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. 69 for Happy Camp. It's dry tomorrow, showers, thunderstorms, and lower snow levels as we go into Saturday night into Sunday in particular, and maybe some of those straight showers on Monday, drying out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Modoc County, same story with that 7-day forecast as far as the chances for rain and snow. And for tomorrow, it's dry with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Let's take a look at your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Now, I've included a chance even going into Sunday, Monday. I think Monday is a slimmer chance, maybe northern Lassen County, but as you start heading south into central southern Lassen, and not to mention Plumas, most likely dry on Monday as we have that warming trend. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. And all those temperatures will be in the low. We're getting close to those mid-80s for those daytime highs, and the big drop going into Saturday. Look for a high of about 79 degrees for Lakehead, 81 for the city of Shasta Lake, Redding 82, as well as Red Bluff. All right, so here's your 7-day outlook for Redding. Breezy but dry on Friday with increasing clouds, especially late in the day. Rain, thunderstorms on Saturday. Dry on Sunday, warming trend and dry through next week.